Buzz, how are you, buddy?
Hey, so nice to talk to you. I have wanted to talk to you for a while because I know your story, and it's just unbelievable. Well, first of all, how are you?
I am great. Having a good day here in Charlotte so far. Beautiful day.
Tommy DeCarlo singing the lead vocalist on the summer tour with Boston, which you'll see coming up on Father's Day at Snowden Grove Amphitheater in South Haven. Tommy, you are a father, right?
Yes, I am. I didn't realize we were playing Father's Day. That's great.
Does the family come out and watch when you play with Boston and stuff?
Yeah, they are. My family's welcome to come to any show they want. They don't make all of them, but they're welcome to come to any one of them, and that really makes it nice for us because we get to see each other a little more often during the time away.
And in a little bit, I want to talk about the fact that singing Boston songs has got to be like just about the toughest gig for singers in rock and roll. Very few people could pull it off. But you've been performing with Boston since 2007, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And I know you probably have to tell this story every day, but I'm going to ask you real quick again to explain how the crazy way that you ended up performing with Boston.
Well, after the death of Brad Delp, I recorded some Boston cover tunes of me singing some of their, famous hits. And I posted those on a MySpace page that I had at the time. And somebody on MySpace contacted me, another MySpace member, and they happened to have an email address for the band and suggested that I send my cover songs to the band and offer to sing them at an upcoming tribute show that was being planned for or in memory of Brad Delp. So, of course, it was one of those, I don't think this is ever really going to amount to anything, but sure, send me the email address. And long story short, I did send the email offering to sing those songs at the tribute show, or at least offer to sing anything at the tribute show. And to my amazement, I got a reply from Tom Scholl's wife, Kim. Tom, of course, the founding member of the band. And they offered, or they took me up on my offer, and I went up and I sang with the band at the Brad Delp Come Together benefit concert back in 2007, and that's how it all started for me.
And as a singer, what was the biggest crowd you had sang for before that? There were thousands, tens. I guess there was maybe 10,000 people there for that gig, right?
The biggest amount of people I sang in front of prior to that was at my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary. They had some music there, and I got up and I sang, and there was about maybe 50 people there. And
oh my!
So it was quite a it was from one extreme to the other. I went from just a few people to singing in front of thousands of people, and it was a pretty daunting task. But I'm thankful I made it through that night. So
is Boston your first band?
Boston is the first band that I've ever been in.
Wow, man, where do you go from there? That's incredible. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was that when you were working at Home Depot?
Yes, I was. I was working at Home Depot at the time, and kind of a funny backstory to this. When I got invited up to sing at the benefit show, shortly after, Tom had called me and asked me if I wanted to go out on tour with the band the following year. And of course, there were still things to be planned for the tour, so he told me to keep it under my hat until everything was made public. So of course I did. And however, during that time, there were several months that went by, and during that time, nobody at Home Depot knew that I was actually flying up to Boston on weekends to rehearse with the band for a tour because I couldn't say anything.
Oh, my.
But it was pretty awesome, and I was very, very thankful for that opportunity that Tom gave me. It's really been a blessing to my family and I.
I'm sure, yeah. It seems like an incredibly unlikely story, and I suppose it is, but let's face it here, Tommy. Not just anybody can sing like Brad Delp. It is a rare thing. You try to sing along with Boston. I can't I don't know anybody that can sing that high. It's some of the toughest singing parts ever in the history of rock and roll. So the fact that you can do that puts you in a pretty rare club to begin with, despite the fact that you were a guy working at Home Depot. You end up working with Tom Schultz from Boston, and here's a guy who's a legend at this point. He's the driving force for Boston for decades. You're going out on tour with Boston. What are those guys like? They've done it for a long time, and you're brand new to this. What was that experience like?
Well, that was, believe it or not, they're the most down-to-earth people that you could ever meet. I mean, they are your neighbors. They're, away from the band, everybody has families, and, everybody has, their own thing that they do when they're not out with the band. And meeting the band was, of course, pretty intimidating, because the last time I had seen them I was like, out in row 90 at a concert where I could barely see the stage. So it was pretty awesome to actually walk in and meet these people that I've seen and listened to for years.
And Brad Delp and the band was a huge influence on you, right? I mean, part of the reason you wanted to sing.
Yeah, I've often said this, and I truly believe it. I never had any singing lessons, but it was Brad Delp who taught me how to sing, and that was really just by listening to the music of Boston and listening to his voice, and that's how much I loved it. And but again, back to your question, it was really great meeting the band. They're a super nice group of people, and I've grown used to being around them. But where that kind of comes to an end is when I walk out on stage, because that's just something I don't think I'll ever get used to, having never done it, for 40, I was 42 years old when I got involved with Boston, and having done little to no, live performing prior to that, it's just, I kind of take the 90 minutes I'm on stage as an outer body experience.
I bet.
But it is pretty amazing. But they are an awesome group of people, and, I've made some, not only do I have, I'm in a fantastic band, my favorite band of all time, but I've made some wonderful friends along the way. And that's not only band members, but crew members as well.
So the first time you step out at that tribute and you're singing in front of thousands of people singing a Boston tune, did you have fear that maybe when you opened your mouth nothing would come out? What kind of nightmares are you having?
Oh, gosh, it happened so fast. I didn't really, yes, I was super nervous. I mean, there were moments before I went out on stage where I asked myself, what am I doing here?
Is this real?
Yeah, is this really happening? I mean, what am I doing? And I was nervous, I think there's a couple of YouTube clips floating around out there from that particular show, and, I'm glad that Tom liked what he heard. I certainly, over time you improve on singing live, but that particular show, I'm glad that I got through it, and he was very happy with what he heard, and it was great to see the fans. I mean, I think one of the most gratifying things for that particular show was just seeing how happy the fans were, especially during a very difficult time in losing, the most amazing singer that I've ever heard in Brad Delp.
Yeah, that guy was just unbelievable. Just not just the technique, but the notes he could hit. I know to sing like that, it's like being an athlete or something. Do you have to do like a lot of exercises, and what do you have to do to take care of your voice to be able to pull off those parts?
Yeah, Buzz, believe it or not, I put in a lot of work vocally away from the tour and on the off time, and it's something that I got with a great vocal coach. I have an amazing vocal coach by the name of Mark Baxter, and he's out of Boston. And I just have a routine that I do religiously to keep my voice in shape. And it does take a lot of effort. I mean, as you know, when you put on a tour of this magnitude, especially with a big band like Boston, you have people coming, from, sometimes a state or two away just to see a show. Mm-hmm. And, it's... don't want to let them down. Some people, they'll plan their summer vacations around that. And it's very important to be, certainly you can get a cold or, catch a, get a bug or something, at any time, but you really want to be as prepared as possible, especially when you're getting ready to go out and perform in front of people who are just, so excited to come and see the show. So, yeah, I definitely put a lot of time into that.
Any special drink? I always hear about like people drink like hot tea and honey and things like that. Is there any like secret beverage you carry around all day?
Yeah, it's water. That's my go-to. However, backstage at the show, there are a couple of instrumental parts where I'm not required to be on stage, so I will go back. And the crew is awesome. They do put together a little thing of warm tea for me, and that in itself is amazing, Buzz, because the crew members. I mean, every night. I remember one night. It was early in my first tour, and I said, do you think I could get maybe just a small glass of tea or a cup of tea back behind the stage? Would that be okay?
Would that be okay? Like, you're the lead singer. You could be a total diva at this point.
It was so funny because I asked for that one time, and it was there every single night after, and I never had to ask again, and just the crew members were so great. So, it's quite a treat. There's many perks for being, in a band like this. And again, I'm very thankful for that.
Well, let's be clear. You're not just a guy who's up there impersonating somebody or just filling in. You're a full-blown member of the band, and you're on the new album, Life, Love, and Hope. I assume you hadn't recorded an album before either, right?
No, I certainly haven't. I mean, the extent of my recording before this opportunity was basically just having a little fun in the bedroom with a software recording device and, singing karaoke tracks, which, to be totally honest with you, from time to time I still do, and it's fun to sing. I love to sing, so, I still do some of that. But recording on the record was great. Tom gave me an opportunity to come up and be in the studio, and that was amazing itself. I mean, that was like a sightseeing tour for me to be, in that studio, knowing the work that's gone on in that studio on previous albums. So that was pretty amazing. I had a great time, and it was quite an experience. And I hope that we get to go and do it again sometime.
I bet. Boston albums tend to have a long wait time in between. Tom Schultz is kind of notorious for being a real perfectionist and stuff like that. Is he a taskmaster in the studio, or is he more like a coach? How does that process work?
Funny enough, we tend to get into these recordings, and we do. Of course, you're going to have a number of takes that are lousy, and I'll be the first one to say, that wasn't very good. Mm-hmm. But Tom was very encouraging, and of course, just his technique in the studio alone, and he's very laid back, and it really does bring out the best, at least it brought out the best in me on the tracks that I sang on.
Well, I can only imagine what that's like. Can't wait to hear the album. We can't wait to hear you with Boston coming up on Father's Day at Snowden Grove Amphitheater. We're lucky enough to have some tickets to give away, and I hear some rumors about some other special stuff as well. So when you're not playing with Boston, what else do you do these days besides take care of your voice and recording karaoke tracks and things like that? I hear you have a band with your son?
Yes, I do. My son keeps me super busy. He's a guitarist and a keyboard player, and we have a small band here in Charlotte called DeCarlo, which is our last name, of course. And we play in and around the Charlotte area, and it's great. We get to go out and play a lot of the songs that I grew up listening to, and in the 80s, the Boston, the Foreigner, and those type of tunes. And, we go out and it gives my son an opportunity to get his feet wet doing something that he loves, because he really is an amazing, not only is he a wonderful son, but he's a great musician, and he works really hard at getting these, he's the one who put our band together. I didn't. Everything was set up, and all I had to do was show up and sing. So, but we have a great time playing shows here in Charlotte, and it's a great little band, and something we're very proud of.
All right, Tommy DeCarlo, lead singer of Boston. Thanks for taking the time this morning. You got a blessed existence. You kind of hit the lottery, but you had to have the voice to do it in the first place. So congratulations, man.
Well, thank you, Buzz. I really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you guys out at the show.
Absolutely. Have a great time on tour. Thank you, Tommy.
You got it, Buzz. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.